At last count, I had a little over 4,000 books in my personal library. Even still, every time I get another delivery with a couple more, I end up behaving much like the proverbial kid in a candy shop. Well, it is late October 2024, and I've got the October 2024 Nightworms package. Nightworms, of course, being the horror book subscription service that every month sends us one of these wonderful little black pouches filled with typically 2 books along with some other goodies. There's usually some sort of a beverage inside. And in case you're new here, one of the things we do on this channel is that I open these up live to camera, as I'm doing right now. I discover what's inside this package and share it with y'all all at the same time. In case you happen to be interested in any of the books that come out of this package, I don't know what they are yet, but they tend to be good ones. And if you happen to be interested in those, I will have purchase links for you right down there in the What's It, where you can also find links to my books and some other useful information. All of that stuff is wonderful and helps support my work on this channel. Speaking of which, also subscribe, ring the bell, like, share, all those things. But I've got the package open, and you're not here to hear me prattle on about myself. You're here to hear about the books, so let's get right to it. The first thing to come out is this little goodie package. This is obviously not one of the books, this is the other stuff. I'm going to set that to the side for a moment and get to the first book, which is a hardcover, and it's called This Cursed House by Del Sandine. The tagline on the cover says, "Some things are best left buried." And let's read the description, because this is not a book that I'm particularly familiar with. I have seen the cover before. I have heard of the book, but I know essentially nothing about it. So we'll read the description and see what we're in for. The flap says, "In this Southern Gothic horror debut, a young black woman abandons her life in 1960s Chicago for a position with a mysterious family in New Orleans, only to discover the dark truth. They're under a curse, and they think she can break it." In the fall of 1962, 27-year-old Gemma Barker is desperate to escape her life in Chicago and the spirits she has always been able to see. When she receives an unexpected job offer from the Duchamp family in New Orleans, she accepts, thinking it is her chance to start over. But Gemma discovers that the Duchamp family isn't what it seems. Light enough to pass as white, the black family members look down on brown-skinned Gemma. Their tenuous hold on reality extends to all the members of their eccentric clan, from haughty grandmother Honorine to beautiful yet inscrutable cousin Fawcett. Then the shocking truth comes out. Gemma learns the Duchamps are cursed, and they believe only she can free them. As Gemma wrestles with the gift she's run from all her life, she unravels deeper and more disturbing secrets about the Duchamps. Secrets that stretch back over a century. Secrets that bind her to their fate if she fails. So that sounds intriguing. I do like a Gothic novel, and this is a subgenre of that, a Southern Gothic. It sounds like there may be some racial issues to this as well. I don't know whether this will be sort of an overtly political book in that regard, or whether that's subtext to more of sort of a supernatural story about this curse. Either way, it could be interesting. There's a lot of praise from some very well-known authors on the back. And as I say, I do like a good Gothic story, so even though I know pretty much nothing about this book, I've never read the author before, I am intrigued and looking forward to giving it a try. That brings us to our second book, also a hardcover. They are being good to me this October. Nice little Halloween treats with 2 hardcovers. This one is called Coup de Grace by Sophia Osram, I believe is how you would pronounce that. Adram, Osram. I'm not sure how to pronounce, and my apologies for the phonetical butchery. But this is another one that I have seen the cover of, but I don't know anything else about it. I've never read the author, and I certainly haven't read the book. It's a small little book, and the description on this one says, Vikin has a plan. Throw himself into the St. Lawrence River in Montreal and end it all for good, believing it to be the only way out for him after a lifetime of depression and pain. But, stepping off the subway, he finds himself in an endless looping station. Determined to find a way out again, he starts to explore the rooms and corridors ahead of him. But no matter how many claustrophobic hallways or vast cathedral-esque rooms he passes through, the exit is nowhere in sight. The more he explores his strange new prison, the more he becomes convinced that he hasn't been trapped there accidentally, and among the shadows and concrete he comes to realize that he almost certainly is not alone. A terrifying psychological nightmare from a powerful new voice in horror. This one also sounds quite interesting. I like the idea of being trapped in the subway. I do not particularly suffer claustrophobia myself, but I am cognizant of that as a common phobia, so I think it's fertile ground for a horror story. I also think that the subway itself is an inherently strange and creepy sort of an environment. Even a train station in general has a certain creepy element to it because you never quite know who you're going to encounter on public transportation, for one thing, and a lot of the architecture around these kinds of places is frequently this sort of sterile or brutalist, purely functional kind of architecture. But that's just train stations in general and public transportation in general. When we think about a subway and we've gone subterranean, then we add the claustrophobia, we add the darkness, we add the fact that you don't know what's going on outside, and Lord knows anything can happen underground, and the feeling of being trapped, and that's all quite interesting. And as I say, it is a short little book. It's only, let's see here, only approximately, it is 139 pages long, so this is probably a single sitting read, and I'm looking forward to this one too. I think the Nightworms people have done pretty good this month, but of course we're not finished yet. There's still this little goodie bag. That is the last of it, but we do have this little goodie bag, so let's rip this open and see what other wonderful little treasures they have delivered for this spookiest of all months out of the year. The first item is a pumpkin spice cocoa. It's from Retreat Drinks. It says vegan, organic, fair trade, single serving, limited edition. Little hot chocolate package with a pumpkin spice flavor. I will admit, not being a 20-something white girl, I am not obsessed with pumpkin spice, but I don't dislike it either. And this being October, I suppose it's appropriate that we should have a pumpkin spice beverage, so I'll give this one a try. As a matter of fact, I'm filming this a few days in advance of Halloween. I'm not sure when you're actually going to be seeing it because I have several videos in the pipeline. But regardless, I'm filming this a little bit before Halloween, a few days out, and the weathermen are predicting a cold front blowing in, so this hot chocolate might be the perfect night before Halloween sort of treat for me, perhaps while I read one of these books. Time will tell. But of course, we're still not done. There's all the flat paper things. The first of those is, ooh, it looks like a ticket, but this is actually, this seems to be an autographed book plate for coup de grace, but it looks like a train ticket. So that's an interesting design. I didn't recognize what it was at first, but it is autographed. So that's fun, and I will put that with the book to which it belongs. The next item is the monthly bookmark. It tells us the theme for this month's package, which is Voices to Fear for October 2024. So I'll add that to my stack of bookmarks and use it while reading these or something. The next item is, in fact, another autographed book plate. This one belongs to This Cursed House. So they really did treat us well this month. Not only are both of them hardcovers, which is not always the case, but both of them came with the autographed book plates. And for those of us who like to collect autographed books, all the better. So no tricks this month, just treats, and I am pleased. But there's still more. This is this is an autographed book plate for Coup de Grace, and this must be a printed autograph on the ticket, which is just sort of an extra add-on. So same thing I said before, but applied to a different item because I had mistaken it, but all the better. We've got the little pamphlet that tells us all the things that are in the package. We're seeing those for ourselves, so we don't need to read that now. There's always some stickers and things, and that's what this one is. What is this? This is a vulture, it appears like. Sort of a stylized drawing of a vulture, which is a wonderful and misunderstood bird, so that's nice. And the last item, yes indeed, the last item, is another sticker. This one depicts a haunted house scene with some ghosts sitting on the chair, one of them sitting on the stoop reading a book. And as I've said before, when I've gotten some other stickers from them featuring reading ghosts, if I were to come back as a ghost and if I were to haunt a place, pretty sure I would spend my time reading, because that's what I spend a lot of my time doing anyway. So nice little treasures. Of course, the most important things are the books, and like I said, I'm interested in both of them, so I'm pleased with these October offerings, and hopefully some of you might find them interesting as well. Like I said, there are links down in the What's It. But I do believe that brings us, unfortunately, to the close of our time together this evening. So I will bid you, I suppose, happy Halloween, assuming I get this published before Halloween, or if it happens to come out after, then I hope you had a good Halloween. I bid you also happy reading, and as always, I bid you take care and stay scared.